you. That was so nice. Thank you so much. Oh, that's a big picture. Hi, everyone.
It's a great one. So this was not how I planned to start the interview, but I see your shirt and it says equality, and what's that about?
Yeah. Well, it's actually not what I planned to wear until I went shopping in New York this week. And you know, Nike has always stood for equality for everyone and against discrimination of any kind. And I was in our stores this week and I saw this t-shirt and I thought, you know, I'd like to wear some Nike on the stage. This would be a perfect one. And these t-shirts are in our stores at .com and selling out, and it's kind of a cool story because we launched the shirt just a few months ago and selling out, and come to find out a lot of people out there agree with Nike about the statement. So that's
Was there a specific impetus or a specific
event? No, I don't think
that
there was. I don't think there. I mean, it was a kind of a general, ongoing conversation.
It feels political.
Yeah. You know, I think it's political in that we believe in equality. It's that simple. And I mean, if you look at the history of Nike, we're not shy. We take stands, and we take stands outside the arena of sport, and so I think we'll continue to do so.
Okay, maybe we'll come back to
All
that
right.
at the end. So, big change at Nike recently. I teased it up front, which was, I call it a restructuring. Maybe you have another word for it, to sort of make sure the company was getting as close to the consumer as possible. You're running that business, which includes running, overseeing Nike.com,
Correct.
Nike stores, and I think maybe some marketplace relationships as well. Why the need for that change?
Yeah, well, you know, I guess every company, or most companies, the non-digital natives of us out there, are looking to see how we can thrive and be connected to the consumer in a digital-first world, and that's no secret. You know, myself, my team, we've read every white paper out there about this is what you do, this is how you organize for digital transformation and to connect to consumers. And so, of course, Nike, it's our job to be looking at what is the fastest, most agile, most direct way to connect with consumers. And we also realize through the process that there's no single way to do so, right? And we realize that we have to take all that is amazing about Nike, and we do, and the analog services and experiences that we've created over time, and we have to take that magic and bottle it, and also transform to creating those experiences and services in a digital world. So, you know, I think if you compare us to other companies, we may have taken some consistent and some, you know, maybe slightly different moves. What we've done in our org is we have connected our digital product organization with our retail commercial organization, and in a really kind of intimate way.
And
so
digital product is engineer? Is that engineering?
No, is product, digital product design,
Okay.
engineering, and creation. With the teams who are actually planning the experiences with the consumers for the Nike product, you know, the shoes, the athletic apparel, the brand marketing, and by bringing those teams together, and then what we've also done is we've broken down the teams into squads and are driving sprints in more a digital-first way, but in more of an end-to-end way of thinking. Go ahead.
So let's unpack this for a bit, or take
Sure.
a step back.
All
So
right.
it seems like some of this is perhaps a direct result of seeing challenges in the wholesale part of the business and your partners there. Is that fair?
Maybe I flip it. I mean, we're of course going to watch where consumers are choosing to shop, and I would say as much as it's looking at where consumers aren't, we're really interested where consumers are, and so. We see obviously our digital commerce business really on fire. Our digital commerce with retail partners is really strong, and we see tons of rooms for acceleration. So I'd like to think, you know, sports analogy, we're on the offense, but it definitely sets us up to drive a really strong mono brand and multi-brand offense where we drive elevated consumer experiences from a Nike perspective. Nike's always been great at kind of leading the marketplace. It's been brick and mortar and it's been analog, but we set a marketplace with a concept we love. We help our retailers develop better Nike experiences, and therefore we lift the marketplace, and kind of the same idea, but in a digital sense.
So what is the goal of, it sounds like, connecting teams that maybe otherwise were not working directly together? You mentioned the digital product.
Yep. Well, I think, our thinking, I think there's probably a solution for every brand and every brand's connection to consumers, but consumers don't live in silos, so nor should we. And a physical or a digital silo, a digital product that's an app without the amazing magic that is going to program the app. And so the heart of the thinking was, we've got to deliver holistic consumer experiences. That's the main one. And then I would say there's a secondary one, which is we also believe that our transformation through digital and our leading to a consumer direct offense shouldn't be one person's job. While I am, president of Nike Direct, my job and our team's job is to have this be Nike's work, right? And so part of that is, I have a partner in Adam Sussman who leads all of the digital product organization, and together the two of us are going to steward to a Nike Direct future, which is kind of nice to feel like that you've got a partner and you're not in it alone, and that's kind of Nike way as well, and a little bit non-traditional in the structure.
So if I'm a customer and I know I decide I want something Nike.
Yep.
And I can go to XYZ department store or big box store. I can go to certain e-commerce sites, Amazon maybe in some ways, and recently, or I can go to Nike.com or a Nike app. What do you care where I go, and why? What is the experience that will make me choose the direct relationship?
Sure. That's a lot in there, and I could
Two
put that's
questions.
my whole job though, but okay. So I would say, do we care? Well, I think that there are a lot of amazing digital consumer propositions in the marketplace. There's a digital high street, and Nike wants to be part of that. So absolutely, when you look at partners like a Zalando or a Tmall, we want to be in the consumer's footsteps, and some of those digital brands are creating amazing consumer experiences. But of course, we want consumers to come to Nike.com and to experience our apps as members. And we are very serious about providing our members on Nike.com and on our apps with an elevated, very personal experience.
What is member? So for people who don't know what a Nike member is, what is that?
Basically, it's our consumer base that has signed up to be part of the Nike brand, and what we do is we program and provide unique products, offers, experiences for our members based on how well we know them.
Free? Is it free? It's a free.
Free.
Yeah, right.
Yep, right. We're free experience. And what we're doing is, the more we know our members, the better we can serve our members. And so, and we're seeing a really nice return from knowing and serving personally, especially with our app ecosystem. We've got Nike Run Club, we've got Nike Training Club, we've got our Nike app, and we've got our sneakers app. And so what we're doing is we're trying to really elevate the member experience, providing exclusive product. If you look at our sneakers app, anyone here have our sneakers app? All right, a few. Okay, nice. Okay, we're essentially reinventing the game of the hunt for sneakers with our sneakers app. This is just one example, and since we're in New York, we do a lot of sneaker experiences here. And
these are sneaker drops.
Yep. And so what we've done is, so there's always been sneaker drops. There's been the lines. We know the lines, and we have a draw program. But we just set up a studio here in New York who's actually programming the sneakers app. And one example of innovation that our members are just loving on the sneakers app is we've created a program called the Stash, where we're essentially gamifying or creating a scavenger hunt out of the sneaker hunt. And what we do through geolocation and a notification is we have stashes hidden in areas around different cities, and consumers get to find and fall upon their product at these secret locations and become a victor of the sneaker heat. And then we have shock drops, so another way to kind of reinvent the sneaker hunt, where of course we've always lived by the sneaker calendar, and we've kind of gone off the grid and off the calendar, where we'll just shock the system and a sneaker will drop and get to go in a nice...
And you get what, a notification? Is it an app notification?
Yep, because you're a member, you would know, you would only know if you're a member. And it would notify. We just did one with the Up-Tempo here in New York, 10 New York locations, not just Nike, our partners as well. As soon as they sell out, which of course they sell out instantly, they're available on Sneakers app. So we're doing, I mean, and there's some more traditional opportunities around our apps with our consumers. With our members, such as exclusive products, early, reserved, and members are responding really well, and our members are worth 3 times the value of an anonymous consumer for us right now.
And in exchange, these members are giving you email address, what information?
Yeah, basically, on our apps, what's interesting is we have a kind of a welcome program where we learn what products they love. What is your favorite franchise? Are you a Air Jordan consumer? And what categories you like, and what sports you like, what gender you are. And so we are able to immediately personalize their experience on the Nike app. And like I'm sure many of you know, we found that behavior on the app is as important as what they tell us. And so we're doing a lot of work and understanding by behavior how we can even serve them better.
Got it. Is there, subscription for the last few years in the commerce world has been some successes, some failures, but the idea of having a reason to re-engage with the customer often, there's obviously value with that. With a program like membership, are there thoughts about paid components to that, or is it, or are you trying to be, I mean, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, every company and the consumer products world is probably looking at an opportunity of a subscription. We have a really early beta in the market called Easy Kicks, where it's a subscription based program for kids, and we're just using that honestly as learning and growing. We've got so much work to do and opportunity, frankly, to serve our member base, and we're just seeing the value proposition play out so well. If you look at from an anonymous state of our members all the way to probably our most personal experience, which is our sneakers or our Nike app, you start to see a 5x annual value of those consumers. So, I feel like that's where our focus is now. But the cool thing at Nike with our retail innovation and digital innovation teams, we are trying some stuff on the side that will incubate, learn, and potentially integrate.
So I'm sure, and I know there are plenty of people in the room who are from wholesale brands who are trying to invest more into direct-to-consumer. Yep. I'm always curious what that relationship is like with the wholesale teams who are seeing sort of exclusive experience for for the stuff you do on your own.
Exactly.
What response do you hear from wholesalers as they hear out loud a new increased priority is direct-to-consumer?
Well, I think we have some history with our wholesale partners and a lot of credibility and trust, honestly. And while it's a new market and there are new rules to digital marketplace, that our retailers have a lot of confidence in the past that, we know Nike, you're going to set the market. You're going to deliver amazing consumer experiences, and you're going to innovate. We see our retailers responsible and doing a great job at setting great value propositions on their brands on their own. And they have actually seen the virtuous model of when Nike innovates, leads, and opens the door, for example, in Soho, or innovates with a consumer experience on an app. They've seen us play back that benefits that business, and that we find the right way to leverage that learning on their business. And we're having those exact conversations right now, and building great consumer experiences. I mean, every wholesaler has a different consumer, a different value proposition, and need to differentiate in the marketplace. So the solution isn't the same. for every retailer, but that's exactly the way we're working with them.
So in a perfect world, well, let me start today. So today, I believe the math is Nike's direct-to-consumer business is about 28% of the Nike brand, something like that. In a perfect world, is that 80%? Is that 100% someday?
Well, maybe I'll flip it a little and say,
You like to flip my questions.
Okay, I
Yeah,
do. Well,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So because we don't have a stated goal in terms of how much will be Nike Direct. But we do have a goal that we will double over the next 3 years our consumer direct relationships, which means that we're going to leverage our wholesale footprint, and we're going to leverage our both brick and mortar and digital, and drive stronger connections with our consumers. So we will.
Yeah, give me some examples of what that means.
So for example, bringing the opportunity. As a member, let's say I'm shopping at one of our great retailers, if I run out of stock for the product that I want at the retailer I'm in, to, as a member, leverage access to all of Nike's inventory and as a member. So to really create better, more seamless.
From someone else's store.
Correct.
And are those experiences live today?
What we have live today is we have digital versions of that. So we just launched this year an inventory partnership with Zalando in Europe, and that's going. We've been partners with them for 5 years and have great business there. And then we've just extended the endless aisle with Zalando, just on 9/9 in China. I can't keep up with all the China shopping holidays, but
the U.S. has their own now.
Yeah, exactly. There's more to create if you look at China. But on 9/9, Nike went live with Tmall by shipping from our stores with their 9/9 event, and we were one of the first retailers to do that. And in the one day had 1,000 orders move from our retail fleet.
Got it. Okay, you're talking about some big platform partners there.
Yep.
Obviously, in the U.S., there was a lot of attention when Nike finally agreed to do business directly with Amazon. Why was now the time for that?
Well, I guess it comes back to what I said earlier around, it's really easy right now, I think, at least what we try to watch for is chasing channels and chasing tech. What we're trying to do is keep the consumer at the center of everything we do. And so we're watching the marketplace, we're watching consumer behaviors, where they're shopping, and obviously Amazon is a strong proposition. And so Nike and we are in with Amazon. We're piloting. We're in the middle of our first pilot. We're learning what works for their consumer, what works through that consumer journey and that shopping experience. We're learning how to work with Amazon, and we're building a really nice partnership there.
Because the narrative, part of the narrative around that was, well, if Nike finally gave in, anyone who sells wholesale in any way is going to have to eventually give in, and Amazon's going to eat it all up.
Yeah, I guess the way we look at it, and these are big decisions, but I just don't know if that's a consumer-centric way to look at the marketplace. And we're super confident in our Nike consumer experiences, and our traffic is going, and our membership is growing, and we're really careful to watch to make sure we want to be part of consumers' lives. And there's some really credible consumer journeys that Amazon is doing a great job with, and it feels like that was a consumer-centric decision.
Got it. So retail, we touched on Nike retail stores at the beginning of this a bit, and some of you in the audience will be visiting the new flagship in New York tomorrow morning. What is the role of a physical retail store for Nike today versus maybe 5 years ago?
Yeah. Well, first of all, excited to have as many of you could be there. I was just there yesterday and had a great experience at Soho. And when we were doing some of our consumer research, thinking about stores and stores of the future, and at Nike there's no finish line, so we'll never have the store of the future. We're on a path. But I had this in a focus group. This one dad say to me, he said, Nike, I expect more of you than to just buy stuff and, just about transactions. And to be fair, I think Nike has always been about much more than just selling stuff. But he said in your stores, he said if it's a rainy day and I want to do something with my kids, I don't want to take them to a movie and have them eat popcorn and drink, soda, or I don't want to have them stay at home on video games. I actually want to take my kids to Nike, and I want Nike to inspire them. I want Nike to help make them healthier and more fit. And I sat back in my chair and I'm thinking, well, in one way, that's a pretty huge mandate. In another way, it's kind of what Nike has always done. So what we're focusing on is how do we continue to bring those kind of experiences, support people in their journeys of fitness and health. And in Soho, what you'll see for those of you who don't go, you'll see great experiences around trial. So, we know, getting fit right is really important. So we just don't try on, you can try out there.
So that means what? Are you like running with
yep.
in the store?
So actually in Soho, you can actually run on our treadmill, get fit with a multi-camera fit experience. And because we're here, you can actually run through Central Park. So you'll have your experience. And if you're in a logged in state, we'll be able to make sure we know you were here and record
and
the
that you come back.
And come back. And when you come back, we'll know that you ran, we know what shoe you brought, and we'll be ready to serve you. And then, just even, I think you heard through the sneakers, we're really obsessing and reimagining the intersection of physical and digital. And, if you go to Nike Run Club right now, we've got a great program for any of you. It's a little late thinking about running the New York Marathon. But we have an 18-week program that gives us scale. So you don't need a store or door to help with your fitness regimen for running New York Marathon. But if you go to Soho or our Flatiron store, we actually have a live program there, and we're helping 100 New York runners prep right now, and we're halfway through for the New York Marathon. So it definitely, the experiences transcend physical and digital.
And I would imagine this is, the differentiation that comes through physical retail for you guys, mm-hmm. especially important in such a competitive landscape today. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this athlete sponsorship model has been important for a bunch of years. There are popular athletes who are on Nike's brand. There are popular athletes on competitors' brands. Is that a model that's critical to direct-to-consumer success forever, or like what does the future hold for that relationship?
Well,
those type of relationships?
I think that's where you can't really separate. Nike Direct and Nike. It will always be part of Nike. We will always give voice to the athlete. Our belief is we bring inspiration, innovation to every athlete in the world. I think you know that. And so we will always serve the athlete, and we always say athlete asterisk, which means if you have a body, you're an athlete. So we're talking about our elite athletes and people like you and me who want to be fit. So absolutely, that will always be part of our program. I think the opportunity for us is what we do with that in a consumer direct world, and if you think about the opportunities of connecting with our athletes on social, extending our digital footprint. We just in Soho, for those of you who go, tomorrow we had Odell Beckham at our store this last week as we launched our Nike by You digital jersey basically boutique on the top floor, and Odell came for us, and he was the first one to create his jersey. So if you just think about it, I think our partnerships will look different, and our athletes will be a huge part of the connection directly with consumers.
So we should expect those big deals to be around for a long time.
I would think so.
You mentioned earlier about the sneaker drops, and when I look at people younger than myself who are very much into sneakers, mm-hmm. I look at how they're buying and collecting sneakers today. And there's, selling in Instagram with a link in their bio. There is, young apps like GOAT, which is sneaker marketplace of collectibles. What is your opinion of those third-party experiences, the resale mm-hmm. experiences? Seems like among a certain type of consumer, they're getting really popular.
Yep. I I think it's a really important part of sneaker culture. It's not, I mean, it's not part of our ecosystem, and yet it's a really important community that we connect to, that we're part of, that we build relationships with, and I think, you know, I heard Adam earlier talking about Fanatics being adjacent to Nike. I see it as a really important adjacent consumer experience, and then yeah.
That you won't have direct, you don't have direct
Not
relationship.
At this time, it applies. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And one more thing about, you know, collectibles, you know, online, when it comes to online and exclusive drops.
Yep.
The idea of stuff selling out in a minute could be great, except when it's not humans and it's bots.
Yep.
And you know, that's not a great consumer experience, although you may sell out quickly.
Yep.
What do you do about that kind of stuff?
So we've launched the Draw program on our sneakers app, which has come very close to eliminating bots and taking the sneaker hunt as close to a fair game that I think it is anywhere in the industry. And you know, because, you know, we don't want to disappoint. You know, we don't want to, you know, while it's a game, we don't want our members and people who love the brand and love sneakers to feel like they've lost. So we've really reinvented that through the Draw. And then
what about owning it yourself prevents these technologies from working? Do you have any explanation there?
I don't think I can. You mean, I'm not sure what you're asking.
Sure. Question is, why have you been able to? How have you been able to stop bots on your own app versus maybe on Nike.com or somewhere else? Or
I would say, well, first of all, have any of you experienced the Draw? No one has experienced Draw. So basically, it's a way that we have a virtual line and virtual wristbands for consumers. And we have the back of the house now, engineering and digital product, able to fight the bots coming in.
Got it.
As much as I can
Okay.
say. Yeah.
If we have any questions, you can line up 2 mics right here. Otherwise, I'll keep going for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So I talked earlier about, is there a goal of, well, I'll turn it over here. Just tell us who you are, please.
Hey, my name is Dan, and I'm from an inventory management company called Stitch Labs. Jason, earlier you mentioned Nike's partnership with Amazon, selling directly to Amazon. Many brands view partnership with Amazon as lose-lose. Mm-hmm. If they're not active on Amazon, they cede the marketplace to counterfeiters, unauthorized resellers. If they partner with Amazon, they risk downward pressure on their margins, on pricing, and they cede that relationship with the customer to Amazon. So my question is, what does success look like for Nike in this partnership? Not for customers, but for Nike as a business.
Yep. And I can only share so much about the pilot and metrics of success, but you know, for us, the success looks like we've served consumers in a new way, accretive both from a digital experience as well as a business perspective to a Nike experience. And then honestly, to your point, that we've elevated the Amazon experience, and that is both through the lens of reseller as well as how they experience the Nike brand imagery positioning on the experience. So
reducing or eliminating resellers who aren't you know, working with Nike in a formal manner.
Yep. That has been part of Amazon's support of the experience.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One question in the back.
Hi, I'm Sam Brownstein from Hudson View Consulting. So I bought a pair of sneakers from your Michigan Avenue flagship store in Chicago yesterday.
Great.
And
wow.
So the sales associate came to swipe my card as I purchased, and he's got his, proprietary software on his phone. Clearly wants to link me up as a customer, and in order to do so, to send me that one-on-one consultation email, he has to actually type my email address in the notes part of his iPhone because it's not, the marketing stack isn't fully unified. Right. So can you just talk, and we all struggle with that, can you talk a little bit about best practices as far as how you unify one customer to all the different places where you're touching them?
Yep, that's great. Just backing up a little bit, I love when your peers and friends in the industry catch a technical on, and of course, our experience isn't perfect, and that's exactly what we're working on right now to provide the athlete in the store and the consumer in the store the most seamless experience. On the positive perspective, that for those of you who've shopped Nike and the footwear wall, kind of the past experience was perhaps in a really great door. You'd shop for your sneaker, you'd find your sneaker, and from the time you found the sneaker, back stock, get to you, purchase, it's a 10-minute. And so we've been able to take that from 10 minutes to 10 seconds. So hopefully you got a little bit of a taste from that, and we're expanding that service globally actually right now. And you will be seeing in just the next couple quarters from us the ability to take that next step and connect the stack and connect the profile. But we do have one member profile. We just haven't connected the experience to retail yet.
What's the biggest hurdle there?
Tech debt.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So having to start from scratch? Are you starting from scratch? Or?
Not necessarily starting from scratch. No.
Okay. I have one more, and it has to do with what's on my feet, which are sneakers that come from a startup company and not from a traditional brand. And so, question, it seems like barriers to entry in a lot of different industries across retail and commerce are coming down. Do you think, there are a bunch of different sneaker startups, some of them will get scale, some won't. Yeah. Is acquisition something you guys think about as part of the future, as a sort of a core competency that you're going to be going after?
Absolutely. I also think, I hear you on barriers to entry, but I think one of the things we're also focused on is the incredible loyalty and trust in this brand and for this brand from consumers. And in times like these, it's important for you to step back and look as a brand what your superpowers are. And we have some pretty important superpowers in the way we supported consumers in their lives in sport and helping them get fit through training clubs, run clubs, and then helping get the right product to match for that. So, we're going to stay with our eyes on the consumer and make sure we support consumers through things that are only Nike and that we've built a great legacy of serving. In terms of M&A, I would say, just one that's a really important one just recently, and it's already making a difference that we spoke about, is the acquisition of Virgin Mega, which was a tech group in Virgin, and basically that team was building tech solutions around gamifying shopping, and so we acquired that group. We did not integrate them into Nike and the Berm and Beaverton. They set up a studio here. I visited them at the studio this week, and they actually showed me season 2, 3, and 4 of the Sneakers Hunt that I was talking about. And what's great with an acquisition like that is, and I see this every day, they're making really incredible consumer experiences through Sneakers app and other things they're working on, but they're also teaching us as an organization and helping us learn and create other experiences.
All right, I think we're out of time, so thank you very much,
Heidi.
Heidi.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much.